Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another episode of Deconstructing the Code. First things first, let me ask everybody to turn off any ad blockers and help me make a career, or whitelist me, either way. So I'm going to change the game mode back to creative, if I can spell creative, and get back to flying. I also turned up the music, so hopefully that will kick in. So we'll have something to listen to. Last episode, we really just looked at the basic generation of the area. Now, we're missing a spawner somewhere. We've got to be missing spawners somewhere hidden in this system. Because if one of these spawners is making the paper appear, and one of these spawners is making the anvil appear, where are the other spawners that are making the cakes appear? It, they can't be spawning three different things. It's also, you wouldn't do any of this in 1.84. All of this now has been replaced with command block stuff. The use of a spawner to spawn anything but a creature is a pretty ridiculous thought. Let's see. So one thing though, we couldn't figure out what this did, and there was a button. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. See, this takes this pig and it just, this pig spawner card spelling something somewhere. I don't know what. We didn't even touch upon a lot of this. I need to make that more clear. I didn't touch upon this whole section here. Uh, so after code is accepted, it triggers this block for each row, which triggers this, which triggers this, which then triggers this to go off, and by turning this off and this off, it is actually a counting mechanism. Interesting. This is an interesting design he has for a counting mechanism. Uh, where is it starting? There's like way over here, which is way over here. Wow. I, I don't even know. It's like this is getting powered by this, which is getting powered by this, which is getting powered. It's it's very complicated system, but this part here is a counting system, and so each one of these command blocks does something. Gives you levels. It's giving all players like levels. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's giving me points. Oh no, it's giving me maps. This is the hint system. Interesting. So it progressively uh, locks out all of the potential maps. And so, what's this last one do? Wow. Gives me this big old chunk of things. Oh, I need to go back. Are we not going to even make it to the first puzzle on the second episode. Yes, give me a hint. Okay. That's interesting. Map. It gave me so many maps. Let's just start tossing some stuff. We're gonna toss maps as we see them. I gotta look at all these things and figure out what they were. He just filled my inventory with all these maps, and I imagine they're all gonna say something similar. Let's see. Map, 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 map. Yep. So it gave us every single, now that we've done everything, it's given us every single map that we could have had as a hint. Is this because it's an intentional trick that there was actually a secret code encoded into each hint? Or is it just because the system is really messed up? Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. We used some of these, and we didn't use some others of them. Yeah, we may not even make it to the first puzzle in this episode at this rate. I'm just kidding. No, we will. We might as well take some time to look at these maps. Now, the fact that we're seeing these maps also shows that there is, this must be the solution to the death room. See, I guess that's the hint for the very first one. Mm-hmm. Uh, some of these didn't make as much sense. Some of these are a lot better. So that looks fine. Yep. We'll toss that. Somewhere on this map, there has to be areas that still hold those designs. I think. I don't think you can have areas with the graphics if it's not hidden somewhere on this map. But I guess that's something we should check for at a later time. Let's go ahead and do the first room. Finally. Interesting. I'm still very interested that this spawner is being affected by electricity. So we had the first room, which lines up these, and through this system you were supposed to figure out the way to the first puzzle. This by far is going to be the easiest of the things. All we have to do is look down here and see that it is really just a system of connecting the dots. Each one of these switches came down here and worked their way up to this one worked its way up to power this, so that the switch here would actually, interesting, seems to be moving the signals around a lot. But that's all this is the signals are just being moved around. And then you've got some spawners that are spawning. These are all spawning the items from the next room, so they don't have anything to do with anything. There's no secret to this room, as it were. Uh, this down here is just the door unlocking system. It looks really complicated, but it's not really. Uh, when we get back up here, there's the door, and here is where the I got a new mouse and it's not cooperating. Here's where the door would be activated to open it, and it just gets the signal from the code detector, which we're not going to cover the code detector anymore. I think we've covered it pretty well, uh, in the sense that we really haven't covered it well at all, but I don't care to bother to try and cover it anymore. So that's the first room. There's not a lot to it. And that's what that whole section is. That's what all this stuff down here is. It's just signal getting moved from over there to over here. Is there a better way to do this? Massively better way. See on the right, it says hints used 15. If he had just made a hidden scoreboard, which I maybe wasn't available in 1.64, or you can definitely have turned off the scoreboard. We've seen it, we saw him do it. If he had just done that and incremented it and tested to see what my score was, he could have unlocked the door completely. Furthermore, even better than that, they, since 1.64, have the ability to lock doors based on items. So you could have simply locked a door based on whether or not the person has the right code written on a piece of paper. And so his entire detection system, for the most part, redundant now. It probably wasn't redundant then, but it's redundant now. And locking system and unlocking system of the doors redundant. So that doesn't really help me in my purposes of trying to learn something new that I could use in today's design of a thing. So let's see, can I hit this? Fall down. So here's the number 2 return piece of junk puzzle that irritated me because of how many trolley times it came back and just, what is this? The switch just always powers this line. That seems strange. It has to. This switch just has to always be powering this line. That is a strange decision to use this than do something else. Because it's not like if this is here, it's going to trigger the switch in any way. He must have spawned this switch at some point. Maybe. That would be the only thing that makes sense. But even doing that, using one of these is better. You could have just done this. And then a little bit of this. And then you've got power always, and you've taken one less square. So that doesn't make a lot of sense in that design. Here he is doing a trick where the spawner is spawning the books always, and so it's just always filling up these hoppers with the code, which is not the code as much as it is just the crazy little wood puzzle. And this dispenser or dropper, whatever, it's hard to tell when they're facing downward, is, I guess it's never triggered. Doesn't seem like it ever is. It does, however, sense it and send a signal to this block, which, what does that do? Oh, it powers this. So whenever there isn't a book in here, it depowers this hopper enough so a book gets in there. That works. And then here is the sequence of the getting the thing to open. You hit it here, and if it goes through here before it goes through here, this will be off. And if this goes off, the thing will, this torch will be on, and that'll push the piston, the sticky piston. So you have to get a 1-tick pulse to go to this block. And the trick there is you just toggle this real fast. That does a 1-tick or something like a 1-tick pulse, probably not 1-tick, probably more, to this, so it just toggles this real fast. But if you hold this open too long, this will get powered after 5 ticks, and that will keep the thing, have the sticky piston act. And then up here is the second part of it, where if you do it really fast and get that quick pulse in here, it will toggle both of these off at the same time. Here's the real test. 4-tick pulse, repeater, plus a torch. Both of those have to be off for this to come on. And if this comes on, then this piston or sticky piston, let's see, piston comes on and pushes it down. So take too long, it'll push it back down. Go fast enough, it fixes that. And what is this part going to? It seems like this spawner will stop these hoppers, and thus not get the code in there, because the code wasn't in there until after the next puzzle was unlocked. So somehow triggering this puzzle way over here, let's see, triggered the spawner. Interesting. I didn't think spawners stopped because they got redstone power, but I guess they do. That is certainly something to think about in creating it. But yeah, I don't know if there's a lot we can do with that. He's done these custom spawners. In even 1.8, making a spawner spawn this stuff is gonna take some work. It's not just randomness. And although it is kind of randomness, whether or not each one of these spawners has the chance to spawn several items. See in the middle here, that changed from the red dye to the blue dye. That's just, it's been pre-programmed to randomly spawn a couple different things. And this redstone here is all part of the previous puzzle, now that we are on puzzle 3. And let's see. This is just the changing of the puzzle. solution. So let's get back up in the floor. Let's see. He left these convenient little holes in the wall, in the floor, so I can easy ways up, easy access. So that's puzzle 1. We've looked and seen what puzzle 2 is. You have puzzle 3 here and puzzle 5. And the only real redstone that confused us very much was the... Let's go ahead and break these. I'm just going to end up breaking all the lanterns. Is this a button? Yeah, that's a button that clears your inventory. Yep. We can figure that out. That's pretty easy. Clear closest player. Actually, it's all players. So it is made to be multi-design. Multiplayer in some aspects. I think some places it possibly could get a little easier. So the only real trick here was the pushing of these blocks. Here's your 2 solutions. He, just for his convenience, I assume. So we've got down here is this, and where are the pistons? Right here. So there's no real secret here. He just totally did destroy the first solution. These blocks were up like this. Items can now be rotated 8 directions instead of 4. Let's see. So he had, let's just grab an item frame. Yeah, the item frame. He had a puzzle, and then he sent a signal. Let's see. We'll grab our trusty old redstone block. Let's see. T. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out that. So it sent a signal up like this, which doesn't really do anything, but then it took the signal off, and there they go. And so the signal was up like this to begin with for puzzle 3, and puzzle 5 it just came down and destroyed the previous puzzle. Sometimes the simple answers are the right way. Nothing too complicated on that trick. Smash that and as we walk in. And so let's see, puzzle 4, death. What is really going on with puzzle 4? Is there anything really going on with puzzle 4? I don't think there really is. Let's see. Let's see, we'll break this, break this. Looks like there might be a spawner up here. I better not put that there. Let's see. You have this here full of the paper. Oh, new keyboard, sorry. To fly in Minecraft, if you've never played Minecraft, which would be very strange for you to be watching this series and know nothing about Minecraft at all, you must really, really love me if that's the case, and I appreciate that. If it's true. Where am I? I'm a little lost. too far. So this has to be something like some paper or something. 59. When we go over here, let's check it again. 60. So it is summoning every now and then another little bit of uh, the right style of paper. When you flip the trigger, it lights the light and goes down here to push the stairs up. And that's literally all the trick. I guess this is the spawner that's summoning the paper, not that other one. I wonder what the other one's doing then. So many spawners. So many questions as to what they're really spawning. And as soon as you get close to them, let's see, doesn't seem to be a way to turn them off. Let's try a torch. Let's see. Torches stop spawners when the light level is high, but I don't know if that's really going to be true because we're out in the sunlight half the time and the torches seem to be activating. Anyways, I don't think torches actually do affect the spawners. I think it's actually more of a fact of that if you have torches around a spawner, there probably won't be an area where it can be spawned. And there's nothing special about that block. Yep, nothing special about this puzzle at all, really. The reason why it works is simply a game. Is just a game rule, really. So if you type in game rule, keep inventory true, that's it. That's the reason why that room works. If I say game rule will keep inventory false, then it doesn't work. So we've already seen what's behind 5. Let's move on to 6. 6 is the time one. Let's figure out this. Still affected by the... So there's just a spawner under here that pushes me, allows me to jump really high up. Up here is nothing. This is just your facade to keep it looking cool. There is something going on here where if you get close, it is spawning a brick element on here which is turning off this, which, what does that do? I think that does something for the next room. I don't think that has anything to do with this. Right. So, nothing secret here, that's just a map. Nothing secret here, that's just a compass. The only real secret here is these. And we'll just go ahead and break these and show what they do. Each one just sets a time, except for this middle one, which was the error one. And what it does is it sends a signal to this, which sends a signal here to activate this that says error, no time parameter set. And when that happens, it triggers that for a second, and then activates this system, where this is being spawned to keep that off. And then this sets a time, this sets a time. This is a clock, basically. It's just setting several times to make it feel like time has gone all crazy. And I assume this is the spawner that is spawning this. So it will not have the error stuff go off for ever and ever and ever. So pretty simple. Let's see what is this part. Oh, this is an interesting part. So this is just a TNT and some water. And what that does is a spawner somewhere around here is spawning the TNT. So let's find out where. That one's spawning that. So which one is spawning the TNT? Here it is. So just standing here spawns it, and then it goes off. And because it's encased in obsidian, it won't destroy anything. It'll just make the sound, and that's what we heard. And he was putting the water in there too, I bet, to probably maybe make a different noise, maybe to protect it. The danger, of course, of not encasing it in obsidian is you're going to blow up your own circuitry. Yeah. So it blew up this whole section here. And the redstone off of it. So that's why you encase it in obsidian. Interesting concepts, spawners, spawning explosives. And so that's time. Let's see. And then the only real way out of it is it blew a hole right here. So time is 6. Let's do 7 and 8 and then call it the end of this episode. 7 is a real interesting one. Remember, there was just a wall here at the beginning of this. So sticky piston here and nothing here and nothing here, but this was extended up, so the sticky piston pushing down, and this was extended, I suppose in some way. I don't know how they pulled that one off. Let's see. It must have pulled it up and to the side. No. This doesn't make sense. Because if I was standing here, and the roof was here, how could... Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? That one... This one in particular is confusing me. We may have to figure out... Let's see. Okay, here's what they did. So it pulled one down and then pulled it to the side. So it was there. And then this one pushed another one down and pulled it down and did that. That is actually pretty good circuitry. So let's figure out that circuitry. It's really a timing issue more than anything. So they sent a pulse here to this, and then they sent a pulse to this one. So 1 tick repeater here, 2 tick repeater here. Doesn't make sense. And it must have sent a double pulse at some point. Because here's another signal. All of this is triggered by summoning an item on top of the pressure plates. That's something he did a lot in the code. It sent this, and this is the ever so irritating wall that would pull back and show us the sign. And whenever we got close, it would close. And so I kept saying they were ghasts, but it's not that they're ghasts, it's that they're spawners. And so there was a spawner under it. Whenever I got near, it would detect me, and when I got near enough, it would put one of these on top of it. So, pretty good trick. I'm still not 100% sure on the timing, but I like the concept of a doorway opening that way. So I hit something there and broke that. But remember, all of this was covered before, and this doorway was closed. Do a little cleanup there. So the only trick really here is this. The answer is there where they'll have been before. Well, that's a little disappointing. That I could never even read that, but whatever. Maybe if I'd been in a closer, on a computer screen instead of a TV screen, I could have read that. So, and that's what's important to note, is that when this door was unlocked here, is when a signal was sent to allow the code book to be released. Let's see. Is this the right way? Yes, it is. It goes right here, and allows the code to be released back in this room, return. And that's where you got the code and solved that puzzle. So, disappear, which is apt. So jump, let's see, what's going on with jump, really? Well, nothing anymore. It's just a spawner putting a thing on here, which causes a clock, which gives me, I think, a jump effect, and that's it. And interesting. There's not really a lot of stuff that's going on this. Here's your spawner. Same trick, spawner. When you get close, it puts a item here and switches. Also seems to be putting a delay on several of the other pistons. This is a way to lengthen a pulse and make it connected for as long as possible, to give me a good chance to actually make those jumps. But it actually is probably not the way you would do it in 1.84. There are better ways these days. When you get close, this one pulls back again. Does it? I didn't realize that. Let's see. When you get close, it does pull back. Interesting. I'll let you see it. But none of the others seem to even bother. And then instead of walking in that room, you walk in this room, and let's see what's really here. Nothing. Gone. Basically. That's all that's here. And there is a teleport command. So this is the first puzzle. We're really going to get into the teleport command aspect. So when you get down here, it activates this, and that activates what? Ooh. Well, let's figure out which of these buildings is connected to which. I imagine this is the part. So let's go here and see what this is. This is another fake section. And I walk through it and it takes me to statement. So where are we now? So you have the jump area. We know this is the real area. Just clear that out so we can see for sure. You go down here and the first time it says gone. But after the first time it allows for some command block somewhere to teleport you. Unless he is somehow activating the command block through for the teleportation inside the spawner. Which, if he's doing that, that is quite amazing. So let's fly above, and you have statement here. We are really deconstructing. Maybe I shouldn't have turned up the music as loud as I did. Again, this is just a wall here. So there was a wall with these pistons. We can just turn it on instead of talking about it. Show don't tell. Why not? So that much was powered to push that part, and then I think there were probably several things triggering it, pushing more and more of it, like here. That's interesting. Well, I broke that. So pistons at the bottom pushing 2 up, pistons on this side pushing a couple, 1 this way, pistons on this side pushing 2 this way, and pistons on this side pushing 3 down, which gets you that nice 3 by 3 block, which is where it was originally. And it said 5 plus this, and then all those pistons retracted and the sign just despawned when the door was unlocked, and it changed it to 5 times this. So all of it is triggered by this part, or was triggered by this part, but this is like getting a pulse, and it's getting it from way down here. Here's the switch. I bet that allows it only to activate once. So let's hit this and trigger the change. And here's another switch to trigger it. Scoreboard, set it to jump. So you can jump. That's cool. Add jump dummy. That just double checks, gives you the scoreboard so you can jump. Interesting is, are they using the word jump here to mean teleport? Is what I'm wondering. Okay, so when I am in the hallway and activating this spawner, it is spawning an item all the way down here. And it is teleporting any player to near those coordinates towards the relative coordinates. And what is happening over here is somewhere that's being triggered over here, and this is teleporting anyone near there to a different relative coordinates. Was that the same one? Was that a different one? Let's see. When I'm over here at this, where is it? At this one. It's right there on that platform. It's the same circuit getting activated either way. This is what doesn't make any real sense. There must be two, doesn't there? Doesn't there have to be a second set of, here it is. So here's the second set of coordinates. So it's just running a clock constantly there to make sure we get that. What room is this? I'll leave that for later. We'll figure that one out later. We're gonna wrap up here. This is a, I have to admit, pretty dry series even for me. Just trying to figure out all the tricks here. So that's this room, which really is about, so that's 9 and 12 and 14 all done. And so that's quite a lot. Next time we will see what's going on with 9 changed. So that was 8, sorry, and 10. But I'm going to wrap up now. I already can tell that this series will be added extra. And so hopefully you're also watching the code 2, which is more than likely going to be released just the day after the code 1 is wrapped up. My last episode of actually playing it. And this will be extras that I'll release that same day. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're learning something. Any questions or comments, leave them in there. As always, leave them below. Maybe I can explain things better to you. There's a lot of stuff Jasper the End did in creating this that is not how you would do it today, but the concepts are the same, and they are can be new ideas or refresher ideas for me. Anyways, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me through fan funding, click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support. Any amount you can donate will be greatly appreciated. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus or friend me on Steam or battle.net, all that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.